Remember how Invincible looked in Season 1? The shadows, the lighting, the insane details during fights. It felt like every frame had weight. Then Season 2 dropped, and you're like, huh, okay. This feels a little cheaper, but maybe I'm just being picky. And now, Season 3 is here, and what happened? It's not bad, but something's definitely changed. The animation feels flatter, the characters look stiffer, and every now and then it's like they're just sliding PNGs across the screen. Literally. In some scenes, it feels like someone is dragging a sticker over a background in PowerPoint. And here's the weird part. The story is getting better. The characters are deeper, the drama hits harder, and the stakes are wild. But visually, the show's losing some of that Season 1 magic. So the question is, how can the writing keep improving while the animation gets worse? Well, turns out the answer is money, and time, and some very questionable priorities. Let's break it down. In Season 1, you had dynamic camera angles, detailed backgrounds, expressive faces, and smooth movement, especially during the fights. It looked polished, cinematic even. By Season 2, you start to notice things slipping. Less lighting, fewer shadows, backgrounds start to feel a bit empty. Characters don't move as much. And in Season 3, yeah, it's kind of hard to ignore now. Animations feel stiff, faces are simpler. Action scenes reuse shots from previous episodes, and don't even get me started on the static scenes. It's like they took one frame, zoomed in slightly, and hoped we wouldn't notice. It's not that the animators got lazy, far from it, but the quality drop is real. And what really messes with your head is that fans, with way less money and way less time, are making scene recreations that somehow look better. More style, more movement, more heart. So here's the thing, if you're watching Invincible on Prime Video, you'd assume it has a huge budget, right? I mean, this is Amazon we're talking about. Jeff Bezos probably finds $10 million in his couch cushions. But according to executive producer Marge Dean, Invincible has only about a quarter of the budget that a show like The Boys gets, and The Boys runs at around $11 million per episode. Let's do the math. That means Invincible gets something like $2.75 million per episode for a massive, action-packed superhero series. That's nothing. That's like trying to make Infinity War with the budget of a college short film. And that $2.75 million is not just for the animation, it has to cover everything. Writers, directors, composers, editors, producers, voice actors, sound designers. Basically, the whole squad. Now imagine trying to animate huge intergalactic fight scenes, exploding planets, and an army of Viltrumites with that kind of money. And with super tight deadlines, it's not even about having a small budget, it's that they're trying to stretch that budget across a show that demands a lot, which means the animators are constantly being asked to do more, with way, way less. Alright, so if Invincible doesn't have the cash to match the scope of its story, where is that money going? Well, have you looked at the cast list? You've got Stephen Yeun, J.K. Simmons, Sandra Oh, Zazie Beetz, Sterling K. Brown, and Mahershala Ali. All top-tier Hollywood actors. And that's just the main cast, but it doesn't stop there. You also get John Hamm voicing a guy named Steve who dies in like 2 minutes. Jimon Hounsou shows up to voice a Flaxan who basically speaks gibberish through a voice filter. Ella Purnell plays Jane, and you probably didn't even notice it was her. These are huge names doing tiny roles. And look, I get it. It's fun. It's cool, it makes the cast list look impressive, but it's also super expensive. Voice actors like Fred Tatasciore or Carey Walgren can do multiple characters in one session and sound completely different each time. That's their job. Celebrities? Not so much. So instead of paying one pro to do 5 voices, they pay 5 celebrities to do 1 line each. And when you're working with a small budget, those decisions matter. Every dollar that goes into a celebrity cameo is a dollar that isn't going to the animation team. So what happens when a big chunk of your limited budget goes to voice talent? You end up with a show that sounds amazing, but looks like it was animated in Microsoft Paint. Okay, maybe that's harsh, but the difference is noticeable. Animators are working with fewer resources, smaller teams, and brutal deadlines. In some cases, there were only 10 animators working on an entire episode. 10 for a 40-minute show full of complex fight scenes, explosions, transformations, and alien worlds. And it's not just the animation itself, the compositing process takes a major hit. That's the part where lighting, shadows, visual effects, and atmosphere all come together. It's what makes characters feel in the scene, instead of just floating on top of it. But when you only have 4 people doing compositing, which was apparently the case in seasons 2 and 3, that final polish just doesn't happen. It's like trying to cook a 5-course meal with 1 pan and half an onion. So yeah, Invincible has amazing voice work, but all that money for 2 lines from a celebrity comes at the cost of smoother movement, richer detail, and dynamic visuals, the stuff that actually makes animation feel alive. Here's something most fans don't realize. Invincible didn't just suffer from budget issues. It also went through a major studio shakeup behind the scenes. Season 1 was animated by a mix of studios, including Wind, Sun, Sky, and Skybound, and they had help from freelance animators in Korea and Japan. It wasn't perfect, but the workflow was solid and they had time to get things right. But after Season 1 blew up, Skybound decided to build their own in-house animation studio from scratch. Sounds cool, right? But that meant starting over. No studio space, no pipeline, no staff, and all of this happened during the pandemic. Marge Dean, who was brought in to lead the new studio, said they basically had to assemble the entire team from zero, which means by the time real production on Season 2 started, they were already way behind. That explains the rougher look, the production delays, and the decision to split Season 2 in half. Not because of marketing, but because they literally couldn't finish it in time. Growing pains? Yeah. But the timing couldn't have been worse. Okay, but here's the thing that really throws people off. The trailers and teasers for Invincible. They look amazing. Fluid animation, intense shadows, killer lighting. Stuff that makes you go, yo, this season's about to be peak. And then the season drops, and it's not the same. Why? Because those teasers were made by a completely different team. Skybound outsourced them to top-tier animators like Balak, the co-creator of Last Man. These folks focused solely on a short 2-minute clip, while the main team had to make 8 full episodes. It's not that the show could look like that, it's that the main team simply didn't have the time or people to pull it off. Now, before anyone starts blaming the animators, don't. Seriously, they're not the problem here. The people working on Invincible are insanely talented. They're doing the best they can with what little time, money, and staff they've been given. Some episodes had fewer than 10 animators and just 4 people doing all the compositing. That's wild. In Japan, studios like MAPPA can pull off next-level animation with even less money, but that comes at a massive cost. Animators there are often overworked to the extreme, doing 20-hour days, sleeping at the studio, and getting paid next to nothing. It's brutal. In the US, thankfully, work conditions are better, but that also means production takes longer and costs more. So yeah, Invincible doesn't look like Arcane or Demon Slayer, but honestly, it's kind of a miracle it looks this good at all. The animators deserve way more credit and a way bigger budget. Here's the rough part. This isn't a one-time hiccup. It's a systemic problem, and it's not going away anytime soon. Invincible is supposed to have 7 or 8 seasons to cover the full comic, but if each one takes 2 to 3 years to make, fans will lose interest. In today's streaming world, where attention spans are short and new content drops every week, long gaps can kill momentum. That's why Prime wants a new season every year to keep the hype alive. But that speed comes at a cost: less time, fewer resources, and more pressure on animators to deliver faster than ever. So now the team has 2 options: rush the animation and deal with quality dips, or delay and risk losing the audience. It's a lose-lose. And unless Prime Video steps in with more funding or more realistic timelines, this cycle of burnout and backlash is just going to repeat itself. So what's the takeaway from all of this? It's not that Invincible is a bad show, far from it. The writing is on fire, the characters are incredible, and the world building is top tier. Because right now, the show's biggest villain isn't Thrag or Angstrom Levy, it's the budget. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want more deep dives into animation, superheroes, and everything in between, hit that like button, drop a comment, and subscribe for more videos like this. Oh, and let me know in the comments, would you rather have celebrity voices or smoother animation? Thanks for watching. You're the real Omni fans.